Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today, we need to talk about these two AI companies that I think the market is undervaluing. I think this company can jump from the 212 position all the way up to the 275 in 6 months. I think this company could jump 30% in the next 6 months. And of course, you already know what it is. It's NVIDIA. So NVIDIA today is at $212, and I think by the end of this year, it could be at $274. Now, it jumping 30%, 29%, that just keeps it at the 30 PE ratio. This is how fast NVIDIA is growing their earnings, that for continue and maintain that 30 PE ratio, it literally needs to jump 30% in 6 months. Now, how is this going to happen? You're going to see massive amounts of liquidity coming from SpaceX when these insiders begin selling their shares, and that begins around August. So I have an options trade that I have for NVIDIA realizing this stock move. So if NVIDIA moves 30% by the end of the year, 275, this option trade will 5x. Stay to the end of the video to get that option trade. Now let's move on to the other stock. The other stock is Broadcom, AVGO. So Broadcom is in a very similar situation, but I gave Broadcom a little more time than I gave NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I think, can make that move in the next 6 months. Broadcom, on the other hand, I'm giving it to October of next year. So Broadcom is at 393 today, trading at a little tiny PE ratio of 40. So Broadcom's at a 40 PE ratio today. Now, Broadcom does not like to trade below 35 PE ratio. So if we pin Broadcom in October 2027 at a 35 PE ratio, then we're getting the stock to $682. Now, remember, Broadcom's only at 393 today. So right there, you have a 73% move potentially in Broadcom in what, a year and 8 months, 9 months? Not a bad move. So I have an option trade for that one as well. So I'm glad you made it to the end of the video, because now I get to share my option trades. These are not financial advice. This is just trade ideas that I'm looking at. I'm thinking about trading. I may trade. I may not trade. This is just where my mind's at. So I have the 270, 275 call debit spread on NVIDIA for January 15th, 2027. So this trade is buying the 270 and selling the 275. You need level 3 options to make this trade. Not financial advice. I'm not telling you to trade this. This is extremely risky because if NVIDIA is not over $270, then you lose your entire amount of money that you put in this trade. Doing this trade is extremely risky. Now, it is also extremely rewarding if it does hit because it is a 5x trade. You are turning $100 into $500. Now, the other trade is Broadcom. I'm looking at the 670 and 680 call debit spread for September 17th, 2027. So this trade, I would be buying the 670, selling the 680, and this option would cost me roughly $1, so roughly $100. Now, when the market opens, this is obviously going to change. Maybe it's $1.50, maybe it's $1.25, but the beauty of this trade is it maxes out at $1,000. Potentially a 6, 7, 8x trade idea on Broadcom here based off of that 73% stock move that I showed you earlier, I expect to happen. Now, I expect these two trades to work out well because the market is going to keep these PE ratios for Broadcom and NVIDIA. There is no reason these companies begin trading into the 20 PE ratio. Not with the amount of growth, not with the amount of importance they are to the market. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a like. Make sure you stay subscribed if you want to stay tuned for more videos like this. And check out feedmetrades.com where you can track all your option trades. That's where I track all my call debit spreads. I made the website just so I can track all my option trades. And I figured, you know what? Let me share it with the public. They can track their trades there too. So stay healthy, stay wealthy, and stay tuned for the next one. Peace.